Hey everybody, it's Fat Man from the Holler. And as always, if you like my videos, hit like and subscribe. Yeah, I haven't done very many videos that aren't chickens lately, and I apologize for that. I have a lot of stuff going on. It's not important stuff. There is important things I'd like to be doing, but I'm not. But I have epiphanies in the night, and I still occasionally have a shot of whiskey here and there, smoke a cigarette, or even chew, or even take a hit of pot. But, or CBD, still better than Tylenol. I can admit I'm a sinner, but see, I have these epiphanies in the middle of the night. When I have epiphanies in the middle of the night, it's when I pray for the world for unity, love, respect, and honor. And see, the whole thing with religion, it always makes everything a little bit muddy, is you have religious extremists. And it doesn't matter if it's Taoism, Taoism, Islam, Christianity, and so forth, and stuff of that nature. There's always going to be somebody that's psychotic that wants to extort something for manipulation. It's not much different than what governments of this world do. How we have wars, young men fight them, old men create them, and then everybody in the middle suffers, the families and everything like that. Because sometimes people always tell me I sound like I'm coming from a movie script, and it's like, there ain't no movie script, buddy. This is just harsh reality of the world. And when I make a video, I like to entertain people. I'm not doing this for money, for self-gratification. Sometimes I do it just for fun, and I like to speak up on some stuff that I think is some BS and some bullshit. I'll speak up on it, and I even cuss in some of my music. I might say a song about, hey, let's shoot drug dealers. Not really want to do that. It's not something they deserve. Because I always say the thing, anybody that knows me will know 100%. When I say something, I don't change. I don't change my colors. I don't change my colors. And I'm not in a gang or affiliated with anybody. I've known associates to a lot of people, but not affiliated with none of that stuff. What change the colors means, I don't care if the whole world's against you. If I know you're right, I'll stand by you to the end. That's kind of how that works. Some people, when they start getting notoriety, fame, this and that, and like, oh, I'm famous on YouTube. Well, most of the people come on YouTube are priorly famous. They're either an athlete, and musician, an artist, just anything, even a soap opera actor, any of that, and they're going to get millions of views. Or if they have a lot of money, they're going to get millions of views. And you know what that does to small-time YouTube channels? It makes people feel like they're not good enough. It reduces their self-esteem. It stresses them out, and it makes them feel inadequate. See, I don't feel none of that, because when I make videos, I do this for fun. And YouTube recently flagged one of my videos on reloading, which kind of sucks, but that's okay. They said it goes against their policy. So there's a lot of things I don't do that I could be doing on YouTube, because I actually like YouTube and I actually respect YouTube, unlike Facebook, which is that kind of stuff on Facebook I've seen for years about showing people beating up old people, elderly, kids, and animal abuse. Man, I don't even like that. Now, all of a sudden, after years of them just letting Facebook just be toxic as hell, now you see the people trying, advocates like, oh, we're going to sue because Facebook, social media creates mental illness. Well, it's a little late in the game for that, you know. And then Facebook, you can't say nothing now. You can say something like this. Man, I hate how people drive. I should kick their ass, and it's not to be taken literally, it's just a thought. And they'll flag you for it. It's stupid. Harsh reality is technology's making the world a better place, and it's also demonizing people at the same time. Weak personalities can't handle technology. Criminals, they can just network like a bigger thing than they've ever done before, the easier way. because you know a lot of criminals ain't stupid no more. They ain't going in. They're not going in banks and robbing them with a gun. They're hacking the shit and doing all stuff of that sort. Nobody wants to speak on anything because if you speak on anything, you're crazy. When lies become truth and the truth becomes conspiracy, you know where you're going to sit. If you want to tell the truth, you can be sitting out there in that gray area, like you ain't going to hell or heaven. You're out there in limbo, and people don't want to talk about religion either because they're scared of that. I ain't scared to say I believe in God and the Great Spirit because I stick with that Cherokee thing because I have Cherokee in me, and Blackfoot and Irish, and see I don't denounce any religion. You know, I like things about Catholics, Taoism, Hindus, Islam, Christianity, and stuff of that nature. All religion's a good thing. Religion's a thing that empowers people. And I don't care if you believe in a rock or what you believe in. If you have faith in something, you obviously have something going for you. So nobody wants to speak on that. Everybody wants to fight. And then, you know, you got the world powers of communism, Xpeng, Putin, and Kim Un-lee. Man, them guys sit there and talk about missiles, talking about war and shit. You know, the only reason they would even want to mess with Taiwan or South Korea is because they know there's big money there. It's like Russia messing with Ukraine. All these wars, you know, what was taught in schools, you know, wars are fought for 3 reasons: over land, monetary gain, and religion. So I'm obviously seeing some of that stuff going on over there is not about religion. Maybe the Israel thing with Palestine and Israel and all that stuff, I can see that as a religious thing. You know, in 1946, Israel became a state, and then the Gaza expansion in 1948 kind of shoved some people around a little bit and misplaced some people. Just like after World War II, you have one side of Germany, this capitalism, the other side is communism. You split the people up, but who suffers? The people in the middle, where the fence runs right here, where my parents live on the right side, I live on the left side. Well, guess what? I can wave at them and I can say hi to them, but I can't really communicate with them or ever give them a hug. That's torture. That's insanity. It's not. And then like the prison systems. I mean, prison systems, I get. I understand the prison system. Under the rules of morality and humanity, and a prison is like this. If I'm going to do 20 years in prison and I didn't do a non-violent crime or non-sexual crime where I didn't hurt anybody innocent or even hurt anybody, and say I was a drug dealer and I did 20 years, I'd kill myself because guess what? I don't like drugs. I don't like drugs. Even if you look at the old Cosa Nostra, the Italian American Mafia, they never wanted people involved in drugs because they know drugs carry big time and they know people will rat when somebody all say, hey, guess what? We're going to give you 50 years. You're going to tell. They're going to tell. And you see all these famous YouTube channels, big people from that life, and they talk about that. And they tell the story about how I was in this life and blah, 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 I took a deal and blah, 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 blah. Some of them guys are straight up rat. Some of them are not. But I don't have to list people's names, and I don't have to give them shout outs. But I mean, there's like one guy, there's one guy out of thousands that I do definitely respect, and I will mention his name, and he's quite a spiritual guy, and he understands pain and suffering because he came from, his father was a well-established, big-time guy in that life, and that's Michael Franchise, and nothing but respect towards that guy. Because, you know, Michael Franchise, I have respect for him, even though he cooperated. There's a thing, some people will call that rat. Here's the deal. You're not a rat. Like, if I get into crime by myself, doing what I do, and I create a situation for my monetary gain or whatever I'm doing, increase my net worth or whatever I'm doing, if I start it and I bring all my friends into it and they help me do it, and when it all comes down, I don't implicate none of my friends. I don't give them their names. I don't mention them. I take my wrath. I, as a man, I take what I got coming to me, but I don't put that on nobody else. That's not a rat. And these kids nowadays say all different kinds of stuff. You know, if you're in a life in certain categories of other people that I don't like to mention, they'll talk about how they'll justify and pacify the situation to make themselves seem as if they're not guilty or they haven't done something. And I don't have to mention those people. I won't. Harsh realities are reality. You know, just like the prison channels, I've watched a lot of them, and then you'll see all kinds of people coming out of the woodwork where they'll start out like a light fellowship, and they'll gain a lot of people, and then once they gain a lot of people, then there's like all this optimistic stuff that these scammers are trying to do, where they're trying to incorporate. Well, this guy was this. I know this guy. I was in there with this guy, and half these people don't even know nobody. They're not affiliated with anyone. They're just living off somebody else's name. They're a coattail rider. They're a dick rider. They're psychopaths. They're losers. What they are. When you live off another man's name, you're a loser. Like old Hank Williams song called Shadow Face. I don't walk in the shadow of my grandfathers, my father, my uncles, my mother, nobody. When I was growing up, my grandfathers was my superheroes, my idols, who I wanted to be like. From fishing to hunting, working on tractors, having my grandfather, my dad's dad having his own business laying asphalt. I respected them because they showed me value, and no matter how I felt or how I was dressed or what I did, my grandparents never judged me. And then they died when I was pretty young, you know, like 15 and 17. And I had a job one time working at Stuckey's, and the guy who owned the place said, and Randy's like, yeah, you're not going to go to your grandpa's funeral. See, back then I just quit and got fired and all that. But in reality, I could have sued his ass. And I've had a lot of misfortunes in life. Like, I've done the stuff and been convicted of stuff I've done, you know, like having DWI. The guy said I swerved across the fog line. I didn't swerve across no fog line. And he said this and this and that. And he had a tape and all kinds of stuff. We go to court. The guy didn't have a tape in his highway patrol car. He's a punk. And he arrested a bunch of people I know. I don't gotta mention him, but he made my life easier because had a couple of different girls I was dating here and there. I got rid of them. I got rid of a job I had at Walmart, my driver's license. I went through a whole bunch of hell and a bunch of BS. And drinking was quite a bit of a problem for me. And I prayed on Thursday night to stop drinking. Got DWI on a Friday night about the same time. After working, you know, that series of that week, working at Walmart for about 12 hours, and they're like stand on one foot. I was like, dude, I don't work 12 hours. You know, I can't. Oh, you're on drugs. You're on this, dude. You're on some fucking bullshit. Because guess what? Just because you're a civil servant don't give you no right to be waving a flashlight in my face down there hitting me. Because I had to go like that. It's like, you do it again, I'm going to slap you. I don't care about your badge. I don't care about your $600 gun. None of it. If you're gonna take me to jail regardless, I don't care. And then I do that breathalyzer and all that bullshit. And then they try to come back, and it just on and on and on. That stuff was, I did it to myself. But I had a guy kind of told on me, a little snitched on me because he's going to go to jail for 2 weeks. And I had a bunch of individuals who was working against me, trying to destroy me. And that's why when I have epiphanies in the night, I don't have insanity. I have realities. I have harsh realities of facing my own shortcomings and my own sinner ways, you know. Like I got caught shoplifting when I was like 16 years old at a place called Gersh, stealing a pack of cigarettes the guy's with, which phenomenally was a backstabber and a coward and stole stuff from me, and anything he could do, ratting me out for anything he did. But long story short, I was 16 years old. They took me to jail. The cop wrote my date of birth was 1977. I was born in 79. So what they did, for a non-violent, non-drug offense, non-sexual crime, they initially arrested me and tried me as an adult when I was a minor. That should never been on my record. But what did that do? How did that affect my life? Going to school. What did that do? It made the cop we had in our school, he's retired now. He's kind of a dick because he's a dare teacher, and then he came into high school and then he treated us like shitheads. Like everybody's a criminal, everybody's a bad kid and stuff like that. That's fine. And then the principal and him, and I went around like the first couple days of school. You know, 1 year I went. I had the principal, the guy that ran the bus depot, barn, and then I had that stupid cop. All three of them guys collaborating, trying to screw me over. And I don't think if I remember right, it wasn't the first day of school. It was like a second or the end, getting close to the end of the semester, and I didn't go to school because I was going in and out of school because I had a cousin that was murdered and a bunch of and I had alcohol poisoning when I was like 16 and all kinds of stuff rolling at that time. I mean, I had a lot of bad shit going on, a lot of family deaths, and all that was going down. They basically, and how that thing getting caught shoplifting screwed me up for life was I couldn't hardly get a job nowhere. I got a few job opportunities, and the thing is, I got fired from them jobs because I didn't know that was on my record because I thought I was a juvenile. It wasn't on there, but it was, and it just stupid stuff you do, you know. And then I looked it up and I seen the wrong date of birth, and I'm like, really? These guys wrote the wrong date of birth on there, and all this bullshit I had to go through, it stuck me in jail. And then I met some key figure criminals of the United States, which are really bad guys, and they are part of the Italian American mafia. And the guy I met was a federal holdover guy going to a hospital, and this ain't no shit. This guy was pretty fucking known, and I mean he was well known. He's well known for everything: extortion, prostitution, bookmaking, Shylock, and murders. He's a real gangster. And I met him in the stupid jail because they're doing a couple different federal holdover things, and they just happened to stick me in there. I happened to meet this guy, and then every time I got in a little bit of trouble as a teenager, I just kept meeting worse and the worst. I don't know how it happened. I don't know how I didn't end up being deep in that life. And of course, I was stupid. Guy gave me his phone numbers, called these phone numbers, and then I met people in Kansas City, St. Louis, Chicago, Indiana, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Bergen County, New York. Not really a good thing when you're 17 years old to be known to all these people. Like, say, you're a kid, you meet a bunch of guys. I got in trouble for like shoplifting. And the shoplifting thing, well, I was skipping school, going across this, going lunch hour. We had an hour. I leave and go steal stuff like whiskey and stuff. So the alcohol poison, the shoplifting thing, I earned all my bad. And then when I say this, people are not going to follow this video and understand it this way. But what I get to is a crossroad many years later. Because every time I try to do right, I suffer worse than when I was doing wrong. And then over time, you really got to reflect on some things. Where I start reflecting is the bad that I did. I mean, the bad that I did wasn't nothing bad, super bad. I steal some cigarettes, bootleg cigarettes, maybe some chewing tobacco, or some whiskey or moonshine, sell some pot. And then I just people kept trying to drag me into the worser stuff, and it's just like, man, I don't mess with that type of stuff, and I don't know much about that stuff, and I don't want to know. And I've seen people do stupid stuff, and I mean criminal stuff, and I'm not going to list people's names because I'm not going to dry snitch nobody up. I've seen people make crack, make meth, and do all kinds of bad shit. Bagging up, weighing up, and putting pills like they doing stuff, and putting the pills up, and drugs and pills where people would swallow and all that. I hate that stuff, and the reason I say what I say is because I'm not no innocent little butterfly in this world. But you know, the thing about a butterfly, sometimes you may not be an innocent butterfly, but you understand the butterfly when you go through trials, tribulations in your lifetime. You know, there's all kind of preachers in this world. You know, some of the best preachers, like I like the best of the best. He's passed on now, but he's a guy that changed my life in many aspects. His name was Dr. Reverend Charles Stanley, and I like Joel Osteen as well. When Joel Osteen's best sermon I liked. I don't listen to a lot of preaching. I've never been a real big church-going person. I went to church when I was a kid. After my grandma died, my grandpa married a woman that was his second wife, who was real fanatic Southern Baptist, and she said rock and roll's the devil and rap music's the devil, and I come up in that era, and that stuff I liked. And I didn't really have much time to listen to that. But the moral of the story of all of it is when I just reflect on the butterfly. and I made my own quote, and all rights are reserved. The Fat Man from the Holler, JS, Jamie Sat, blah blah blah, Jimmy Sat, Jimmy Gunn. And anyway, the butterfly quote that I made, it goes like this: pain is change, change is growth. That's kind of the cycle of a butterfly becoming a greater version of ourselves, and how that works is you go through your pain, your trials, your tribulation, and even though you're seeing nothing but bad, it's always a double-sided dagger. The pain is what you're going through. The gift is the good that you wisdom, because you get wisdom in life by experience. You can get knowledge by reading and doing things, but you're not going to get wisdom without experiences and trials and tribulations of all kinds, even if they're small or big. So you go through the pain, then you change. You come to the crossroad, and it's like the crossroad. I do metaphors and I talk about a lot of things. It's where it seems like it's inaccurately understood sometimes. There's a guy called Robert Johnson. He sold his soul to be the best blues player at the crossroads to the double. And that's kind of where change comes about. The change. And then where the growth is, if you can avoid certain temptations, you can grow, become a greater version of yourself, but you reflect all the time. And like, I don't dwell on my story. I lived it, so I understand it. And I see a lot of stuff on YouTube. A lot of people do a lot of different things on YouTube. A lot of them are doing it for money. They're doing it for fun. They're doing it for money, self gratification, and fame. I'm not here for that. I like to be the kind of guy that can show anybody, hey, I'm just a plain Jane guy with a cell phone, and I'm using a roll of painter's tape as my tripod, setting it in my living room. And that's how I've done a lot of my videos. And then I bought a 4K camera, body camera, and I've done stuff of that nature. And you see me touch my face, I got like bugs, because this time of year, man, I get swamped by bugs and all the rain, they're like trying to infiltrate my house. So I just go through what I go through. And I like to make videos on reloading, fishing, farming, raising chickens. Because I can do this, anybody can. I want to write books on doing this stuff. But how you become successful in doing all this stuff, and how you can have a lot of hobbies, is I was like, man, I kept pacifying situations. I kept pacifying and rejecting anything, because I didn't draw for 25 years, and then I started drawing. And if you look at that wall over there, you can see I got a lot of drawings, and a lot of stuff on top of my nature type stuff that I have, like have a stuffed duck and antlers and all kind of different things, because I collect old things, and old bottles mainly, because that's one of my things, and arrowheads. If I don't search for arrowheads, some friends give me a few arrowheads. I found some of them, like a tie in my shoe. See an arrowhead, it's like the arrowhead finds me, I don't find it. Because in life, I don't ask for things. I may have a desire for wanting things, but I've learned to overcome that. Because maybe I'd like to have a white picket fence and a fancy little farm and a wife and some kids and a new vehicle and a job. And then a certain aspect, a lot of stuff which would seem like a shortcoming that I don't have, I don't mind it, because if I was supposed to have it, I probably would have it. Just like I wanted to have a dehydrator. One was given to my mother by her sister, which was a gift from my aunt's son, which is my cousin. And my mom was going to take it to Goodwill, brand new in the box. I got it, and that's pretty cool. And then here's another one. My washer breaks. I don't have money to buy nothing. I don't have no kind of money at all. I mean, I have no money at all. And I don't do YouTube for money. I'm not monetized and nothing that. I'm not famous. I don't have a store. I just do my own thing. Like, I made my own hat right here. It says Fat Man from the Holler, and you can see it has a skull, and it has two revolvers and a guitar. Because I do have a guitar, play music, I like guns, and the skull was something I won't really. I mean, it has the X on. It's supposed to be a rebel flag, but it's not a rebel flag. Confederate battle flag. And I got rid of all my Confederate battle flag type stuff for a reason, because I'm not trying to have that. Because every time you see it, somebody's like, "Oh, you're racist." Man, that's not the case. I'm not racist. I don't defile or try to deprive or molest anybody mentally, spiritually, physically, or nothing of that nature. Just not who I am. I don't I don't live like that. I don't have hate in me. Everybody always tries to get me fired up. Oh, what do you think about the transgender people? I don't think much about it all. I don't care. It's not me. I'm not transgender. They're like, what do you think about gay people? Not much at all. I'm not gay. I'm not bisexual. I'm not LGBTQ. I'm not classified in any of that. I'm not grouped up with any of that. So that's not something I pertain to even care for. Because if I'm not involved in that type of stuff and I don't live that lifestyle, I'm not gonna condone it or bully it or make fun of it. Some of my older music, yeah, I talk bad about it. Because some of it, man, it seems a little weird. Because like if I just the process of toxic and harsh reality is, if I'm walking down the street and somebody that's transgender or homosexual starts like accosting me, touching on me in a sexual way, and I hit them, it's gonna be a hate crime. But it's not a hate crime. He touched me, he engaged me, and all this in an improper way, and didn't stop, so I hit him. Or just scenarios like that, or reality, reality and fiction will become into a thing, and how a court and a judge and your peers view it will be the determination if you go to prison for not initially doing something where somebody actually was violating you and you hit them. They're going to say you're violent and you're a hate monger, when in reality you told, hey, somebody touched you once, you can kind of pacify that, say, hey, look, don't touch me again, I'm going to hit you in your mouth. I've had that happen many, many times. Somebody trying to do something stupid to me, like, hey, don't touch me again, I'm going to hit you in your mouth. They're like, they just have that little way about them where they think, oh, this guy's not going to hit me in the mouth. This easygoing dude ain't going to hit me in the mouth. This guy's a fat guy. He seems like a mark. He seems like a punk. I can do anything I want to this guy. And then guess what? Wham! Hit that dude right in his face, right in his mouth. Drop him on the ground in front of all his friends, mad as hell. I had that happen when I worked at Walmart. Dude kept flipping my hat like this. He did it twice trying to be cute, and then he knocks my hat off. I said, second time he did it, I said, man, you do that again, I'm going to hit your mouth. And then he does the next time, knocks my hat, goes flying backwards. I popped him in his mouth, and he's running his mouth when I was leaving work. I said, dude, if you think you got a bad deal, man, come up the street and we can do this again. And when we're not on camera, and I'm not going to get in a bunch of trouble, I ain't going to sue you if you beat me up. But guess what? If I beat you up, I expect the same thing. Dude didn't do nothing. He never acted like a punk to me. And then a little bit after that, he went down the line, got a different job. Because I worked with a lot of college students, and then the favoritism is why I don't have a job. I've noticed anywhere I work, there's always got to be favoritism. If they're a college student, elderly, or whatever, or they're friends, or have a relationship, because they think, oh, this person's got money, this person's going to help me evolve into a better version of me, they pacify, and they kind of basically shit on you. And my harsh reality is just what it is. And if you follow the video this far, it's probably a little bit of crazy that you probably don't want to hear, but it's just me and a real version of me, and there's no lies in me. So if you like the video, hit like and subscribe, and you can leave comments, because if you have any kind of crisis in your life, you need somebody to talk to, you feel suicidal or anything like that, feel free to hit me up on YouTube or Facebook. You can find me on Facebook, and on Facebook my name is Jamie Sapp, and you'll see me. I'm just sitting there laying in bed, and recently after I cut my hair, I think I did a pretty good job just using an old pair of clippers, and I cut the sides. And cutting your own hair is a little bit of work, but I don't have money to spend for a $20, $30 haircut. I could spend $20, $30 on a pair of clippers, which I did, and cut my hair and many people's hair, and oiled them up and cleaned them and all that stuff. So, not out here to harm anybody. And then I know if I say something on YouTube to offend somebody, it's not to offend them. It's just my own way. It's not the argumentative. And it's just not really a conversation. It's just my own little epiphanies and thoughts. But in reality, I don't care what somebody is. The only kind of people I don't trust and I don't like and I will never like is people who harm children, elderly, and handicapped in a sexual way. a physical way, a mental way, a financial way, a spiritual way. I just don't get down like that. I don't like that. Because when you prey on the innocent, you're a coward. And that is all.